Matter of fact, I'm sure that he's not made that way. And that, my friends, is your update on the Deflategate. That's as much as I got for you today. I don't really want to spend a whole lot of time on it. Some other NFL things did come to my attention today. Which one do I want to start with first? Let's start with this Lyle Collins situation. It was rumored that the St. Louis Rams, you guys remember, I told you guys that Todd Gurley thing had Lyle Collins written all over it. The fact that initially I was hearing like I got sources. That ain't what I mean. I read a bunch of stuff. Right? Don't you hate when people do that? Like radio people be like, yeah, see, the stuff I was hearing from who? From who, Robbie?
Sources.
Right.
Sources say.
Yeah. I have
my very reliable Oriental Underground Connect sources say.
My sources are the same stuff that's available for each and every one of you guys to read as well. That's my source. Right. But I was reading a lot of stuff that they were looking to draft Lyle Collins, and obviously we know what happened with him and the murder investigation of his ex-girlfriend, and subsequently the unborn child, not his child. They found out it wasn't through DNA. And then they said they were trying to take him in the 7th round. And I guess the story continues on to talk about his agent saying that's going to be a huge mistake for y'all, because if anything, that helps him a little bit. And the fact that if he is drafted, he can now re-enter the draft next year, much like the way John Elway did when he was drafted by the Colts, much like Bo Jackson did when he was drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those guys left and was like, not going to play for those guys. They suck. I'll see you guys next year. And they both went on to have John Elway had a beautiful career, and Bo Jackson had a shortened career, a career that started off very, very promising, but
story. Yeah, it's story.
Freakish injury.
Short, but it's story.
Yeah, freakish injury. So, inevitably the story ends up with Lyle Collins not being drafted. Eventually signing with the Dallas Cowboys, $1.65 million, the max you can give an unsigned free agent. 3-year deal, renegotiating after 2, I think something like $21,000 in signing bonus or something like that. The next story I want to talk about is I mentioned Aaron Hernandez being indicted on that double murder on this day in 2014. Well, today he has chosen to, he and his lawyers, his team, have decided to file an appeal in the case in which he was just sentenced to life for first-degree murder. I have the details on that here. This is per TMZ Sports. Aaron Hernandez claims he should not have been convicted of first-degree murder in the death of Odin Lloyd, claiming the killing was not, quote-unquote, cruel enough to warrant such a harsh charge. Hernandez's lawyers filed new court documents challenging the verdict in the Lloyd case, in which they spell out why Aaron should have, at most, been convicted of second-degree murder. So now they've gone all the way from him being there to now, all right, he did it, but it wasn't as bad as y'all say it is. Here's why.
Right, remember, because they said he was there. Yeah, remember, they were like, he was there, he got scared and
First of all,
didn't say anything.
It went from he's innocent to, in closing arguments, all right, he was there, but, he was scared of the dudes he was with, to now, all right.
Then they showed the video. Then they showed the video of them hanging out at the pool the next day after all them Lloyd was killed.
The same dudes he was scared with because they was on X or whatever they were on. Idiots.
Yeah. He was so scared he dropped his blunt out there at the crime scene.
Here's why. Team Hernandez says first-degree murder requires either premeditation or extreme cruelty. Aaron's lawyers say the ex-NFL star was not convicted on premeditation, so they're attacking the cruelty, the quote-unquote cruelty angle. In the docs, Aaron Hernandez's lawyers state since Lloyd was shot 6 times and died rapidly, or quote-unquote rapidly, there's no evidence of suffering. Furthermore, they say no witnesses heard Lloyd yell or scream. There's more. Aaron Hernandez's lawyers say to prove cruelty, you must also show the killer, quote-unquote, took pleasure or was indifferent about the killing. Team Hernandez says there was no evidence to show Hernandez took pleasure or, quote-unquote, took pleasure in any suffering experienced by Lloyd, end quote. Long story short, Aaron Hernandez's team believe Lloyd's murder was a run-of-the-mill gun death. Nothing more or less nothing more or less cruel than any other. Now it's up to the judge who will decide whether or not to overturn the verdict. And that is from TMZ Sports. That dude needs to rot in damn jail. Subsequently, yesterday, I read an article that said the perjury charges were actually dropped against his baby mama, girlfriend, whatever you want to call her, fiance. The perjury charges were dropped against her, and that is per her willingness to testify. That was the deal all along.
Now, did you see this story the other day while we're talking about Aaron Hernandez? Where they were saying that they located his Hummer at a car lot, and basically what they were saying, well, they have been finding little things here and there that belong to him, and they think that somebody, whoever is in possession of his stuff and has possession of his assets and his money, like they trying to sell stuff and move stuff around, I guess so that they can preserve, he can, I guess, have some money, or, I don't know, to put on his books or whatnot, but they were looking into more of his stuff, more of the valuable stuff, being sold, and they trying to, track the money and make sure no money being, moved around and, all that crap. So,
I mean, right now, it's his money. He can do what he want to do with it. Like this civil trial with old Lloyd's mom hadn't jumped off yet. Do what he want to do with it.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I should have said that. That's why they keeping a close eye on it, to make sure that they not trying to dispose of everything, so then they can come back and be like, Aaron Hernandez is indigent. So,
what else happened? Oh, in the world of the NFL, we're still in the NFL. How about Zach Mettenberger? Willing to speaking of killing people.
Yeah, that's right.
He's willing to fight to the death.
That's right.
Really, dude?
He's from the SEC.
What does that mean?
He's from the SEC.
What does that mean? I never get that reference when anytime one of you crew love dudes holler that out. What the hell does that even mean? That he's going to fight this Hawaiian dude, this Pac-12 dude to the death for his position?
They're right. That he just ain't bound out to no dude from the Pac.
Newsflash. First of all, they're not in college anymore, first and foremost. Second of all, it's not his decision. Yeah, Ken Wisenhunt has already proclaimed that when you draft a dude at quarterback, second overall, you're drafting him to start.
You got to play him. Yeah,
so you can fight all you want to. It's going to be your death. That's what it's going to be. I don't know.
True.
So
what happens if you go out there and ball out and you play better than Mariota?
That's the problem. That's the problem when you make that type of proclamation. I mean, you do what I call painting yourself into a corner when you do that. There's no reason to say that right then. First of all, no one expects you to say it. You know what I mean? For you to come out and just say it is ridiculous. First of all, you're only paying this guy $24 million over 3 years, 4 years. Fully guaranteed, but still, it's not a whole lot of money that you're invested in him. I mean, obviously you invested less in the matter with Zach Mettenberg, but still and yet, you've got time to get a guy who never took a live snap under center other than the kneel downs to get him ready. And with these practice restrictions and all this kind of stuff, you don't have as much time to dedicate to converting this kid from what he was to what you need him to be. So to make that proclamation off the top, to me, I said it when it happened during the draft. I was like, that's foolish. Like, why would you do that? Because now, if the scenario plays out like you just described, how do you explain that to the 35-year-old veteran on your team that's relying on your quarterback position being solidified to feed his family as well? Because everybody got eyes. You go out there every preseason game, every practice, you see who's out playing who, but yet the guy who's playing better is on the bench. Yeah, and it's tough on the kid. More so than anything, it's tough on your rookie quarterback when that happens too. Yeah, that was a bad look. That was a bad look all the way around, and I hope it works out. I'd love to see Mariota Winston play in the first game of the season, because that's where it's scheduled to be. Titans in the not first game of the season, but in the first week of the NFL season. The first game is going to be on Thursday night between the Patriots and Jimmy Garoppolo, as we know now, and Ben Roethlisberger. So, yeah, there's that. But while we're there, while we're talking about, wait, did we talk about? No, I thought about it in my mind. Sorry, when I was reading this UJ article.
What's up with Aretha Franklin, man? That's what I want to know, guys.
What's up with Aretha Franklin? Yesterday, I told you guys. I don't know if I said it on the air, but I was reading about what on TMZ
You
Sport.
teased it, but you never told you.
Oh, I was
You
reading
said
about
you were reading about
the kid.
Isaiah Bird.
No, I wasn't reading about
Isaiah
Isaiah Bird.
Bird.
I saw Isaiah Bird on TV. I was reading about the kid that got wrongly convicted of rape. Brian, what was his name?
Oh, Brian Banks.
Brian Banks. I was reading about that, and at the bottom of the TMZ screen, it said something about Aretha Franklin, like nip slip or something like that. Something, and usually
Nip slip.
I forget what
no.
it didn't say that, but because I went back and
no.
saw it yesterday, but it didn't say that. It said something about breast exposed or something like that. But I got caught up looking at another article, trying to hurry up and prep yesterday, and I never went back to it. I put it on my notes real quick so I could remind myself to go back to it, but I never did. I actually went to the story about Magic Johnson's son, which I'll talk about in a second here. So last night, as I said, after I got disinterested in that Clippers game, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot to look at this. So then I went and looked at it, and apparently Aretha Franklin is somewhere, some formal place. She's dressed in a formal dress, but it's strapless, and like the boobs are on fleek. You understand me? It's like straight, just old natural. I'm talking, 1989 National Geographic cover, homeboy. It was like, boom, this is what it's all about, Beyonce. See you in 40 years. You know what I mean? It was one of those deals. Nothing was exposed. The Queen of Soul kept it classy. I guess she had the double stick tape to make sure the joints didn't do their own thing. You know what I mean? To keep them tamed and under control. Shout out to her for that, because I don't think anyone really wanted to get, that up and close and personal with the old Queen. But, she did it. Old school, letting these bras know she still got it on and popping. So, good for her, man.
What I can say, titty turn to teardrops, fat ass turn to flame.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. She's still diving these bras out. She don't give a damn. These bras got some time to get on her level, man. The Queen of Soul, dude.
I don't want to see the nip slip. I'm good.
And she took care of you, dude. Like I said, I guess she had the double-sided tape to make sure, the joints was properly contained. The whole situation was like, wrapped up and sealed and tight.
Good.
But yeah, I said I was looking at this article, speaking of boobs, from years and years of work on maintaining boobs to getting rid of them. Magic Johnson's son, the gay one, and I didn't realize he's on some reality show.
Yes, I know. I know.
Have you seen it?
No, but I know.
Yeah, he's on some reality show. But anyway, he lost 100 pounds. I told we talked. Actually, it's funny because I mentioned him last week or a couple weeks ago, talking about how he looks gay, he looked happy and fat, but he had the stomach thing done, right? And they showed a picture of him. He lost 100 pounds. Congratulations to him, man. Good for him, man. And he says he's committed to keeping it off. So, I talk about this periodically on this show, man. When people find happiness, man, I have no choice but to be happy for them. You know what I mean? And for those people who like, oh man, he cheated or whatever, dude. Get it how you live. He was trying to improve his lifestyle and improve, his body image. By all means, man. Do what he got to do it. Shoot, lost 100 pounds, man. Slim down a little bit. It's like, dude, you're like 6'8". You look like big ass Precious. Yeah, lose some weight.
Yeah,
he's big, man. He's a big dude. Got to be causing some sort of, physical problems with him, I guess. Carrying around all that weight, and he decided to do something about it, man. So, good for him. Speaking of health problems. Here's something that some of you may find endearing, but I find it downright scary. This is about the second time in the last couple of years something this has happened. Moving on to the world of Major League Baseball. 102-year-old Gladys Holbrook. She's going to throw out the first pitch at a Brewers game. Yeah, this has disaster written all over it. Her quote,
it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, her quote is, "Well, I'm a little nervous about it. You should be, Gladys. You're 102." But back to the quote. "But I didn't think anybody was going to make much of it. I just thought that this would be some little simple thing." How much wronger could you be? Anyway, that was end quote. Quote, "I never dreamed that if I would have known that, I don't think I would have slept last night," Holbrook said. Yeah, this might lead to that long sleep, Gladys. Yeah, all that excitement going on.